think we're going live now. Oh, am I live? Can everyone hear me?
Okay, yeah, I think you're good to go. Would you mind grabbing the link and then we can share that out? Yeah.
Do you want me to send you guys the link?
No, I think we're good to go.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
I think we're live, everybody. At long last, we made it. Today wasn't going to be super long, but we'll let some people trickle in and use the time that we have. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Once you're in here, just let me know where you are tuning in from. That way we can get a little bit of a head count as to who's in the chat. We'll wait for a few minutes and then I'll introduce myself and we'll get going from there. All right, y'all. I am going to get us started. I'll introduce myself. My name is Dr. Samuel Zemede. I am a physical therapist by trade and a movement person who's passionate about movement and getting people to move optimally. I'm located here in West Hollywood out of Myodetox. So for any of you here that are in the LA area and need help with movement or just getting your body to feel better, recover from an injury, please reach out. The goal for today is to interact with you guys and show you some tips and tricks on how to use the mobility wall. And more specifically, to talk a little bit about how you can optimize and use the mobility wall for times when you've been sitting for long periods. So, what are some areas that we're going to want to look at? How can you use your time most efficiently to target the areas that might get more stiff or not be moving as well? Just reminders as you all trickle in. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties getting off to a late start, but as you start to trickle in, feel free to um, just let me know where you're listening from, just so I can get an idea of where everyone is at. And any questions that you have, leave them in the comment and chat section, and I'll save some time at the end to review those. And just for more incentive, if you do leave a comment or a question, we'll be giving away a free travel bag courtesy of Mobility Watch. So we'll be picking those winners at the end of this live stream. People trickling in, trickling in. All right, we got 3 people. If you're trickling in, just let me know where you're listening from. What state, what country, what city. Leave a comment, put your name in the running for a free travel bag from Mobility Wad. About 10 more seconds and then we'll get going here. All right. So the goal for today really, like I said earlier, for those of you that didn't hear me, is to target specific areas that get tight or don't move really well, especially when we've been sitting for long periods of time. So today we're going to keep it simple. We're going to start from the top of our body and work all the way down and target more specific areas for us. So the first area that we're going to be targeting today is a spot right underneath the base of your skull. And there's three or four really small muscles that a lot of times when we're sitting for long periods of time, and we're all guilty of this, we get in kind of this forward head posture, we start hanging out here for long periods of time, can cause a lot of tension right in this area. So I'm going to be using the little knob that's connected to the mobility wall today. For those of you where that might find that a little bit too intense, you can use the just the regular part of the mobility wall to help create some mobility, and we'll walk through that together. So the landmarks that you want to use when you're going through these movements for this particular region is you're going to find kind of where your skull ends. So go all the way down, find where kind of the bone ends and where kind of the muscles in the back of your neck start. So we want to be able to land right in this pocket, okay? And that's what we're going to be using. So for me, what I like to do is I like to get the mobility wall at about neck height, okay? That's gonna allow you to be able to create some upward pressure. So you're gonna start in a lunge, create some upward pressure, and then the movement we're gonna be walking through together once you get that pressure is a chin nod. You're gonna be just bringing your chin gently towards your chest, coming back up, coming back down. Okay. So for me, like I was telling you, that landmark, that bone, that back of the skull, go all the way down till that bone stops and you feel just a little bit more muscle tissue. I'm going to be using this knob. For those of you where this might be a little bit too intense, you can use the foam roller. So we're going to start in a little bit of a half lunge position. Okay. Half lunge position. You're going to get that guy right underneath the skull. You're going to start in that lunge and you're going to come up till you feel some gentle pressure. So you're thinking up and back. So here, create pressure into the foam roller or the knob, pressure. And then once you have that pressure, you're just going to give me 5 gentle chin nods. You're bringing your chin down, looking down, coming back up, 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 and finally looking down again and coming back up. Making sure that as you go through the movement, you're still keeping that up and back pressure into the mobility wall. If you have any questions, feel free to type them down in the chat below. We'll be giving away a mobility travel bag courtesy of Mobility Wall. So leave your comments or questions in the chat to be entered. So we're going to do the other side as well. So same thing, get into that lunge position, get that foam roller or the little knob. You can use the handles on the side of your doors for a little bit of leverage, create some backwards and up pressure. Keep that. You're going to give me 5 nods again. Down, up. Bring that chin down towards your chest. Come back up. 3 more. Chin down towards your chest. Back up. Chin down towards your chest. Back up. Chin down towards your chest. Back up. Okay. Can everybody hear me okay? Are we good? Hanging in there? If you can't hear me, just give me a comment and let me know. We're going to move on. So that was the first spot. right underneath the skull. That's very much a culprit to a lot of sitting where we all end up over time. Gravity pushes us here. Now, we're going to work on is getting a little bit of mobility into kind of that upper trap region right in this area. Okay. So, we're going to want to bring this guy down a little bit. So, what I like to do is bring it to about shoulder height because, again, you're going to want to get under and stand back up into it. So, let's loosen this. Bring it down to about shoulder height. And this might be a little bit too low for me, but we will make it work. Okay. So what you want to do is we're going to focus, again, like I said, on this trap area for you here. So kind of right into the base of the neck, all the way down this meaty part, right in here. So the first step for you, you want to get underneath the mobility wall, okay? Get into a little bit of a lunge. And then from here, what you're going to do is you're going to stand up to create some upward pressure into it. Once you get some upward pressure, keep that upward pressure. Now, if you're doing it on the left side, like you are for me, you're going to do a little bit of a stretch for the upper trap. So you're going to do a chin nod, bring your chin gently to your chest, and then rotate away from the mobility wall. You should feel a gentle stretch in that left upper trap area. Come back, create some tension again, upward, down, away. Good. Give me three more of those. Pressure, down, away. Good. Last two. Away. Good. Really drive through your legs, drive upward into the mobility wall and away. And then gently let that pressure off. You can hear me. Perfect, Addison. Thank you. Right now, Addison, you're going to be the winner of this travel bag since you're the only one who has commented. So, going to make my job easy as we move forward. People are trickling in, trickling in. Welcome, everybody. Let me know where you guys are listening from: city, state, country. Glad to have you guys in. I've gone through one body part and we just started the second, but I will review those since everyone's from here. Welcome, Addison from Philly. Love it. Love it. New Mexico. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. San Antonio, LA. Glad we could stream past the technical difficulties. Glad you guys could join. Glad we could make this happen. Okay. So the goal for today, let me reintroduce today's purpose is using the mobility wall for periods of time when you've been sitting a lot. So for those of you that are spending a lot of time at work sitting, or students who are spending a lot of time sitting in classrooms, I think today is like first official day of school. Um, I'm going to be going through just a few regions that are culprits for getting stiff, tight, or not moving well, and how you can utilize your mobility wall to make sure you're not getting into some of those traps, some of those sticky points moving. So the first spot, we're just going to go from top down. Okay. Shouldn't be longer than 20 minutes or so. And I'll leave some time for questions at the end. And then we'll choose our winner for the bag. Um, so the first area that we're going to look at today is an area right underneath the back of your head. So you have your skull. Everyone can kind of feel where their skull ends, right? And then you have some muscles right in the back of this region. This is the area that gets a lot of stiffness and tightness, especially if you're spending a lot of time in this forward head position. So I'm going to show you how you can utilize the mobility wall to make sure you're not getting into those traps of hanging out here, getting headaches, all of those types of things. Okay. So the way we're going to start off first, make sure we didn't get any questions. If you do, feel free to leave them in. You're going to bring, if everyone has their mobility wall, bring it up to right about neck height. So right around here, right around here. Everyone set that up. Good. Great. So for me, for this region, I really love using the little knob. For you, if that is too intense, you can still use the more broader region of the mobility wall. I will be using this little knob. I don't know if you can see it through the camera, but that extends off of the mobility wall because it can get into those tough to find areas. So what we're going to do is if you are using the knob, get it a little bit at a downward angle. So it's kind of in this region, okay? If you're using the foam roller, just the broad area, whatever position it's in, it's great. So you're gonna get into a little bit of a half lunge position, okay? And you're gonna find, like we talked about, find the bone and then find where that bone stops in the back of your skull and where kind of the muscles start. And you're going to go and get that knob got right into that region. So you're going to want to create a little bit of pressure backwards and up. So what it'll look like from this angle is I'm in a lunge. I'm going to exaggerate this. You're going to go backwards and up. So you're going to be backwards and up, creating some pressure in this direction. Once you get some gentle pressure, hold that position. And we're going to be going through a nod. So the pressure will be there. You're going to be bringing your chin down towards your chest and then back up. We're going to do 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Okay, so let's set that up together. Get right into that area where the bone stops and the muscles start. Create some upward and back pressure and give me a chin nod. Bring your chin towards your chest and then lift your head up out of that position. Chin towards your chest. Good. Back up. 3 more. Chin to the chest. Back up. Chin to the chest. Back up. Chin to the chest. And back up. Good. And switch to the other side. Great. Awesome getting to see everybody who's in here. Welcome, Richard, Ocean Shores, Washington. Love it. People from all areas. All areas. This is great. How are we doing? How are we doing? This one. Any questions with it? Pretty straightforward, confusing. Is everyone able to kind of find the areas we were targeting with this? I'll take the silence as a yes. Yes, let me reintroduce the formal introduction. So for those of you that didn't hear as you were trickling in, um, Sarzad, I will get to your question. That's a great question. My name is Samuel Zemede, or Dr. Samuel Zemede, whatever is comfortable for you. I'm a physical therapist out of West Hollywood, California, and I work with an amazing company called Myodetox. This is our logo. We are a company that prioritizes soft tissue work and movement re-education to help get people out of pain and moving well, not just for 2 years, 3 years, but for the rest of your life. We are very much a longevity approach to healthcare, a proactive approach to healthcare, getting ahead of things before they get serious. And so that's what we're passionate about. If you are in the LA area and are looking to get out of pain, just looking to move more efficiently, looking to get stronger, um, feel free to reach out to me, and we'll get you taken care of. So that's what I've been doing. I've been there since November of 2020, and have loved it. Um, Sarzad. So is this a good exercise for Dowager's hump? So Dowager's hump, a lot of times is, for those of you that are curious, kind of like when you're spending a lot of time in this position over time, you can get a little bit of like a lump that can produce here just due to kind of areas that aren't moving super well. We're actually going to go through an exercise that will be more specific for that upper mid back area, which is where you'll see some of that. But this is a great exercise for that because it takes you from here. And when we're working on that chin nod, right, we're getting reoriented back into more of that neutral position. So it's a great way to create more neutral positioning of your spine as opposed to just a lot of stiffness in one area and a lot of excess movement in another. So that's a great question. Hopefully that answered it. Keep the questions coming. We're going to move on to the next body part, and I'll keep checking in and answering questions as we go. So the first section, right, we worked on this area. It's called your suboccipital region, right underneath the skull. The next area we're going to work on is a pretty common area for some of you guys. It's called your upper trap. Okay. So you're going to want to bring your mobility wall a little bit lower for this one. So I would say for you, get it to about shoulder height. So let's bring our mobility wall down to the top of the shoulder. Good. About shoulder height. Perfect. Great. Okay, so once we're here, we're gonna get underneath the mobility wall. So whatever arm you're working on, you wanna get that guy underneath it, okay? Once you're underneath it, you're gonna get into a little bit of a lunge position underneath it. Same concept that we did with the last one. I'm gonna show you on this side, you're gonna give me some upward pressure and keep that. And then we're gonna go through some movement with our head to give us a little bit of a stretch, okay? So let's all get underneath and use your legs to drive your body up. So here, drive up into the mobility wall. Good. You should feel some gentle pressure in that upper trap region. And then from here, what you're going to do with your head is you're going to go chin to chest. So drop your chin towards your chest and then rotate away from the mobility wall, from the shoulder that is under the mobility wall. Come back to center. If you need to reestablish pressure in that upward direction, do so. Keep that pressure, bring your chin down and away. Maybe 5 reps of that. Good. Pressure up, down, away. Good. Last 2. Pressure up, use the legs to drive up, chin down, away. Good. And then the last one. Here we go. Drive up, chin down, and away. Should be getting a gentle stretch through that side. All right. Glad you guys are loving these. Simple but great flow. So you're going to do 5 on the other side as well. Same concept. A lot of times you get stressed, slowly start getting into this position, head starts creeping forward, and before we know it, we're carrying so much tension that we don't even know we had. So this is a great reset to do throughout your day to help reestablish some healthy movement patterns through your body, especially when you're doing it subconsciously. Yes, great point. So, like, testing your range of motion afterwards is really, really a great way to kind of cement some of the changes and for you to be able to see what that looks like as well. So just even before you go on it, just seeing what's my rotation looking like? What does that feel like now, right? A great way for you to be able to semi quantify what that looks like. Okay, so those are two great movements for the neck region. Now we're going to move down and target a little bit more of like upper back, and then we'll do something for the pecs as well. Get you from here to be able to experience a little bit more open positioning. Okay, so the first one we're going to do is upper back. So I want you guys to bring your mobility wall to right about armpit level. Okay, let's bring it a little bit lower down than we are currently. Good. Great. Okay. So for this one, what the goal is we're going to work on the mid back to create more extension. A lot of people, we hang out in such a what we call kind of like flexed position. We don't allow our body to experience opening up and extension. So the goal with this is to create some of that. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your hands kind of behind your head and you're going to arch your back over the mobility wall. So you're going to use the mobility wall as a leveraging point to create a little bit of opening. And we're going to do 10 of these. So don't put your whole body weight on it. Bring your feet out, like slide your feet out so you come here and able to just bring your body back over the mobility wall. Okay. So slide those feet out, hands behind the head. Good. And just allow your head to drop and come right back. For those of you that are in track and field or familiar with that, high jumpers, right? The guys that jump over bars, picture yourself kind of doing this. You're thinking of arching and rounding your back over the mobility wall. Just getting some gentle opening through that mid and upper back. That guy can get pretty stiff in a lot of us. Getting some of this that we don't get too much of is a really good thing. Good. Last few. Good. And then you can use the doorway to help bring you back up. How's everyone doing with this? Any questions? Any questions? I gotta get some music in here. It's a little quiet. A little quiet. Great. So I will take that as a yes. Everyone's doing great. So making sure that when you're rolling too, it can be tough with the space, right? To get your body to roll over these areas, right? So that you can get the leverage of the foam roller. So not getting too stuck in the middle is a good thing to remember. Use the rolling that you can get of the mobility wall to go over it. Woohoo! Don't let it fall like I did there. Make sure your mobility wall is stable in your wall. There we go. That's why I was making the note of no full body weight onto this guy. But if you're here, get your mid back there, roll onto it, and then come right back down. Roll onto it, come right back down. Think of an arch more than just here, right? You're thinking of rolling over, rolling over, rolling over, rolling over. Okay. That's the concept that we're thinking of when we're talking about mid spine, and upper thoracic spine extension. Make sense? All right. So we're going to move on now. We're going to move on to the pecs. So the pecs are just as important when we're talking about getting us out of this position and into more of an upright position. So for you guys, making sure that you're getting not just your spine to move well into here, but getting your pecs to open up. Because if we don't get these guys to open up, doesn't matter really what we do here, we're still going to have the pull of the pecs in this direction. So this is one of my favorite movements to work on using the mobility walls to open this area up. And similar to what I did with the neck region, I love using the knob to help open up this area. So what I'm gonna have you guys do is bring the mobility wall a little bit higher up. So we're gonna come right to about our armpit region, kind of the shoulder armpit region right in here. So let's bring that up again. Good, good, perfect. Okay. So I set the knob up for me to be able to lean in and have the pressure of the knob on a part of my pec. And what we're gonna do is you're just gonna gently lean and shift your body weight forward. And the arm that is being worked, you're going to work through just some gentle extension. So you're gonna bring your arm back at different angles. You can go from here and just work your way down, down. What this is gonna do is allow you to work different fibers of your pec, okay? Great note, mobility wall. Yes, use your mobility wall in the direction that the L brackets are pressing against the door frame. So I would be on this side, this video. I just wanted to be able to show you guys that. Great note. Great note. Because that's going to allow you to not be sliding down. Okay. So for this region, what you're going to be doing, like we talked about, get your body to press in. Good. And then reach. Extend down, reach, extend back. I'm running out of room here. Too long of arms, reach back here. Keeping that pressure on the knob. We're gonna do about 10 reps of this. You can explore different ranges too if you're here and you just want to explore a little bit higher pressure or higher ranges. Good. Couple more here. Just explore what that would feel like. One big note to make with this is that there are nerves that travel from your neck and cross through this region. So you should not be getting any numbness or tingling into your hand. If you are, reorient the placement of the knob so that you are not getting any of that numbness or tingling, or just decrease the pressure that you're applying to that area. Okay. It should be a nice, gentle to moderate stretch, not a sharp pain, not any numbness or tingling that is going into the hand. Does that make sense? Great. If we're doing all right so far, give me a yes in the chat. Give me a yes. All right. Well, we're going to move on and finish up here. So we have, all right, Dave, I love it. Sarzad in C major. Yes, beautiful. All right. So The last area or the last couple areas that I'm going to go through with you is going to be the forearms. So a lot of you guys, if you are sitting, you may be typing, right? So we're going to work through the front of the forearms, the back of the forearms, and then I'll give you one movement to work on for your legs. Okay. So what you're going to do, love it, Addison. Perfect. Okay. So you're going to I want you to bring the mobility wall to about for mid elbow height. So we're gonna slide this guy down. Bring this back. Perfect. Everyone's set up. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna work the front of the forearms first. So you're gonna get your arms in kind of an L shape. Okay. And what I want you to do is you're gonna be pressing up into the mobility wall to create some pressure. So you're going to start closest to your elbows. You're going to go up, and then you're going to roll and slide along the mobility wall to get some good soft tissue work through that area. Okay. The key with this is to make sure that you are applying upward pressure and keeping that pressure throughout the whole rolling process. Okay. Do that a few more times together. Up, keep that pressure, drive through the legs. Roll down. Good. Give me a couple more. Here we go. Up, keep that pressure. This should be like a little bit of a leg workout. You're having to stabilize your body and this tension through your legs. So if you don't feel like your legs are working and you feel like you might be sliding around, reorient your body so that you're able to push through the legs. It's a little bit of a lunge. Drive through, keep that tension, and come right back. Love it, Addison. I'm glad these are helping. Yeah, these are some of my go-tos, especially as a guy who's using my hands a lot for work, working on soft tissue with people, taking them through different movements. These are so helpful for me just to help kind of get my own treatment when I can't get it outside or I'm just running really busy. The mobility wall is so helpful with that. Great. Now we've worked on the front, but we're going to now work on the back. So same concept, not too much changes. You're going to get in that same lunge position here, starting at close to the elbow. Create some tension. Slide down. Good. So you'll find is there are a lot more bones, bony prominences on this area. So the muscle area that you're going to want to work through is this muscle belly right in here. Might get a little uncomfortable if you start like rolling a lot more towards the bony areas and doing too much pressure here. So I would say focus on this muscle right through here when you're doing this. Okay, let's do a couple more of those. Good. And then last one. Press up, slide down. Great. All right. So we have one last one and we are going to finish up. So The last one we're gonna work on is a little bit of like hip flexor and quad. So, um, when you're sitting for long periods of time, right? We're kind of in this position through here. We may not be able to explore a lot of movement into extension, right? So we have a lot of some of the tissues that are on the front of this area that get stiff, not as mobile, or just not as lubricated and fluid. So what this is going to be showing you is a way to work through some of that tissue as well. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring the mobility wall to about mid thigh level. Thigh level. So let's reset that. I'm going to reorient this camera so you guys can see me a little bit better. Perfect. Great. Great. Okay. So what you're going to do now is you're going to get into our favorite position, the semi-lunge position. I'm actually going to bring this a little bit higher for me. Got a little bit longer legs. So you're going to get into a semi-lunge position, okay? And the leg that we're using through here, you're going to apply some pressure through. So it's going to be here, shift the body weight forward. Mobility walls here, shift that body weight forward, okay? Stay in that position, and I'll tell you why that's important. So here, shift that body weight forward, good. And then from that position, you're going to come up into a standing position from there, okay? So as you can see, my opposite leg, I'm helping kind of drive upward into a more straight knee position for the back leg and the front leg, okay? So the most important part, get some good pressure into the quad, straighten up into this position here, good. And you should be sliding through as you straighten the knee, good. Keep that pressure, good. Get some good knee extension through there as well. And what this is doing, right, is like I said before, if we're spending a lot of time here, this is helping us explore hip extension, getting that hip to extend out of this common flex position. If you're driving, right, if you're sitting at school, if you are working from home, that is a position that is all too common for a lot of us, and we're not able to explore the other spectrum of our movement repertoire. So these are some tools that you guys now can use to be able to combat some of the common presentations that I see in the clinic and pain that is generated from some of these prolonged positions to make sure that you are having longevity throughout your movement and kind of throughout your life as well. Okay. Any questions in the chat, please put them down below. Any questions with movement? Any questions with timing? I think one thing I didn't talk in length about is some people might say, you know, how long do I do each position for? Personally, for me, one of the things that I love doing is just going for time, right? So not so much being like, you know, 10 reps of this. We did reps today just because we had a time limit, but going for, you know, 30 seconds at one spot and just making it meditative almost, right? Like settling your body down, getting some calm, deep breaths in, allowing your body to relax, and just going through those movements in a controlled manner for 30 seconds to a minute, and then doing the other side as well. So that's a tool that I love using with people. It kind of levels the playing field as you go through these movements. All right, any questions? Going once, going twice. All right. So we've reached the end of our live stream. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Now, I guess is the fun time where I get to pick the winner of the travel bag from the chat. And for me, today's winner is going to be Addison Wiley. I don't know if I pronounced your last name correct. Congratulations, you are the winner. The way you're going to go about getting the bag, Addison, if you're still on, is you're going to email Chris at mobilitywall.com. You just make sure I got that right. So you're going to do Chris, CHRIS, at mobilitywall.com. And you can let Chris know some information and we'll get that bag out to you. All right, everybody. That is all that I have for you. Again, thank you so much for joining today. It was my pleasure. Um, Make sure you guys are taking care of your physical, not just physical, but also mental, spiritual, emotional well being, and have an attitude of longevity and proactivity with your health and care. All right, everyone, take care. I will hopefully see you guys soon.